Hello YouTube, this is VidHead85 and I want to thank you so much for joining me here. I think I'm probably going to start doing a couple of these videos, mostly because of the fact that I am at a point where I kind of don't want to sit in front of the screen. I don't want to edit videos. I kind of would like to do some of these simple videos where I just kind of give my perspective, but I also have something to look at for reference. This is an article from Your Tango, and it was a rebuttal to one story that I can link in the description because it's a really the article that it is rebutting is just awful, and it makes a lot of assumptions. So here is the article: Why Child-Free Women Are an Essential Part of Society's Cohesion, by Ali Hall, written on September 23rd, 2022, with 336 shares, and it should have definitely more. My jaws clenched as I continued reading to the very end. This article, entitled "Childless by Choice Women Are a Part of Society's Deterioration," sent my emotions on a roller coaster ride. It reads like something from Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey. Initially, I felt anger. This anger turned into mild amusement before settling on feelings of pity. Pity directed at the author of the offending piece. It makes empty and underdeveloped claims against the child-free. It reveres parents as heroes, even Christ-like. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It talks about Bilbo Baggins from Lord of the Rings and then another epic hero, and then even Jesus Christ on the cross, while simultaneously brandishing women who choose to forego reproduction as selfish. I have known my whole life that I don't want to be a mother. The offending article is problematic for many reasons. The hostility to the child-free is commonplace. But articles like this widen the divide between parents and non-parents, whether by choice or circumstance. Science has already evidenced in-group favoritism between parents, which supports the lived experiences of many child-free people. Once I was done with my swearing, laughing, and then pitying, my fingers started itching to respond. With the urge to respond. Intelligent parents grasp the idea of living child-free and value the decision for them and their children, first and foremost. Only extremely stupid and inconsiderate parents want everyone else to pop out as many babies as possible. Dr. Verena Brunschweiger. Yes, I practiced that one. I don't care. So, back on Miss Dr. Brunschweiger's point, yeah, only an idiot thinks that everybody should pop out as many babies as possible because, what they don't realize is that some people are just not meant for parenthood. I am one of them. I've already been in places. I have done a lot of childcare, and I will not have that in my home. Like, just because I like kids and I'm good with many kids, some of them I'm not so good with, but either way, the bottom line is that just because a person is good with kids doesn't mean that they want their own kids. There are so many women that don't even like kids, and that is okay. It is okay not to like kids. Some people are just like, no, keep them away from me. Ew, that's fine. As long as you don't mistreat them, it's okay not to like kids, because not everybody does, and not everybody has to. So, why do people choose not to have children? The author links to this humorous and honest article and refers to it as a rant. Then the author dares to state that this other woman's reasons for not wanting children are inadequate. Yeah, that definitely does, because somebody's reasons for not having kids is the reason they don't want to have kids. And the only person who should be able to judge whether those reasons are adequate is the person who chooses not to have children. Are we seeing a theme here? All right. Don't you know the best reason for not having children? Not wanting them in the first place. We don't habitually ask someone why they had children and then judge whether they provide virtuous enough reasons. Yet perfect strangers feel entitled to gatekeep our reasons for not wanting children. A study by the Pew Research, hold on, come on, come down, thank you. A study by Pew Research found that 44% of Americans between 18 and 49 years old are unlikely to have children. The large majority of the participants don't desire children. Other reasons cited in this study for foregoing parenthood include medical reasons, financial reasons, no partner, age, state of the world, climate change, environment. Partner does not want to have kids. I believe the only reasons to have children in the first place are if you desperately want them, and you will be a phenomenal parent. According to the author, protecting our happiness is not a reason to forego childbearing, and yet many people have children in an attempt to increase their happiness levels. So which is it? A quick reminder, the path to happiness and fulfillment looks different for all of us. The most sensible thing to do is follow your own yearnings. Child-free people are as selfish as parents. Oh, this makes me laugh. Calling people selfish for choosing not to have children is the most ubiquitous child-free bingo around. Also, let me take a moment to explain bingo. They're called bingos because child-free people who, a lot of times parents or anybody who tries to dissuade someone from being child-free, if you put all the arguments on a bingo card, you will hit bingo quite easily because they're so predictable. That's why it's called bingo, because you'd win every time. All right. The Pope famously peddled the selfish term in 2015 and then in 2002. Yes, that's right. A child-free man calls people selfish for not having children. What's a religious leader supposed to do when the population of his congregation is at risk? Blame and shame the world into reproduction, of course. If it's selfish to lead a life of your own calling, then both child-free and parents are selfish. But here's the thing. Many child-free people have agonized about whether they can give a child the good life and if parenting is for them. The films To Kid or Not to Kid and My So-Called Selfish Life illustrate this decision-making process beautifully. Also, my favorite novel, Wild Egg by Jennifer Flint, follows the protagonist's journey of inner turmoil while trying to establish if motherhood is for her. It's time to flip the rhetoric. It is not selfish to choose not to have children. While some child-free people simply don't want children, many have put the needs of their unborn children before their own. Yet, ask any parent why they decided to have children, and the answer usually starts with, I wanted. Ironic, isn't it? I would argue it is selfish to manipulate society into reproducing with impunity in a world with an alarming population growth rate. Heck, America has almost 500,000 children in foster care. Isn't it selfish to continue having biological children when so many children need a home? In his enlightening video, the spiritual leader Sadhguru even goes as far as to say we should award women for choosing not to have children. And in this candid and vulnerable piece, author Andrea Oskowitz claims parenthood has rendered her selfish. Let me be clear, I don't think having or not having children is selfish. It's time to cut out the selfish BS. I advocate for everyone to do what is right for them on the reproductive front. I am by no means shaming biological parents or suggesting everyone should adopt. I'm merely shining the light of hypocrisy in the eyes of the author. Is doing what you want to do a sacrifice? The author refers to sacrifice several times. In one fell swoop, the author alienates not only those of us who are child-free by choice, but also those who are childless by circumstances. The sacrifices you make when you have children are things you need to exercise to be a person of value, from a quality employee to a reasonable friend, or especially a loving spouse. So you can only be a person of value if you have children? Not only is this offensive to a wide range of non-parents, but it's hierarchical, reductive, and tragically unkind. Please, will someone tell Oprah Winfrey and Dolly Parton that they have no value as people? The author says life is about blood, sweat, and tears, and that may be the meaning of her life, but it certainly isn't the meaning of mine. This part is where I start to feel pity. Is that honestly how the author sees her life? Is she even happy? Misery loves company. In my experience, the people most bothered by my child-free status are those who didn't realize parenting was a choice. The child-free resistors resent that I have managed to avoid the parent trap. They harbor an, if I had to do it, you should too, frustration. This anger and internal unhappiness with their life circumstances add venom to their spittle. The author preaches that we all must experience curtailment of our freedom, desire, and personal needs to live a life of fulfillment. Hell no, lady. I am a Scottish lass after all. So in the slightly edited word of William Wallace, you can try and make me have children, but you will never take my freedom. Pronatalists love to weaponize fear. Those who believe child producing and rearing is the only path to fulfillment often use fear to try and galvanize a mating frenzy. The author talks about child-free people going down a dangerous route, describing it as one that is not particularly safe for the individual and one that will surely lead to a deterioration for society as a whole. What a load of unsubstantiated cod swallop. I'm going to use that. The author closes her piece with a threat of regret. The truth is, maybe I will regret not having children. But having children to prevent FOMO in later life would be utter lunacy. Interestingly, there are more cases of parent regret than regret over choosing not to have children. A Facebook group with over 44,000 followers is dedicated to this cause. Non-parents are an essential part of society's cohesion. The author boldly claims that the child-free are responsible for societal deterioration. Her words shame and minimize a growing section of society. I've spent 5 years as the chair of a voluntary committee group. None of my committee were parents. I gave up several weeks a year to volunteer at a camp for terminally ill children. Most volunteers were not parents. Non-parents are responsible for creating a whopping 42% of charitable foundations. Luke Carroll is an internationally known expert and leading voice on child-free choice. She has collected data since the 90s with over 5,000 online surveys. She has established that many child-free people work in the helping profession and are more likely than their siblings with children to take care responsibilities of aging parents. That is so true. Like, a lot of times I have been on Reddit and there have been people who are child-free who were pretty much told, you don't have kids, so take care of our aging parents. I think that's a load of bull because, just because your time is no less valuable because you don't have kids. The article suggests our empathy levels shrink and expand during our lifetime. It explains that when people become parents, they turn their empathy inwards, leaving less empathy available for the outside world. People without children are not the death of society. We step up and keep society functioning when parents turn inward toward their children. And this is okay. We all have our roles to play in the big melting pot of society. My favorite reflection of a child-free life is the case of this 85-year-old widow who says she would live the same life 1,000 times. Like most child-free people, I have immeasurable love in my life. I cherish the connections I have with invaluable souls. My eternal hope for society is that all those who want children will have them, and the wishes of those of us who don't want them will be respected and honored. In the words of Florence and the Machine, I am no mother, I am no bride, I am king. Thank you for joining me for this article. I am definitely going to be looking up some other articles, and I'm going to end this with the blurb of Allie Hall. Allie Hall has served as an ambassador for the Child Free by Choice and has written over 20 articles on the subject. She also runs a Twitter account with nearly 2,000 followers dedicated to this subject. So if you like, please head over to her Twitter. I will also link the Your Tango article in the description box below so that you can look at the other links that she has in the article. I hope that you are having a great day, and thank you so much. Share this with your other child-free friends and child-free communities. Talk to you soon.